This is the local bound for Chorondai. The next stop is Minami Makigahara SO32.
まもなく夢が丘です。お出口は右側です。
The next stop is Yumegaoka
SO36